Well, this article from the Chicago Tribune, written by Tom Hundley, Tribune reporter, dated December 12, 2008. Now, you'll remember, dear friends, that Bill Clinton was dubbed the first black president. Of course, he was not black, but he did so much for the blacks, and he used to slobber all over them and cry when he had to at certain times, and hug them, and he went to all the black churches, and they said, why, he's the first black president, even though he's a white man. Well, Abner Mikva, the Jewish mafioso, the godfather, you might say, he said, if Clinton was our first black president, then Barack Obama is our first Jewish president. Mikva was among the first to spot the potential of the skinny young law school graduate with the odd name. He has a Jewish soul, said Mikva. He understands where we're coming from. Oh, yeah. And Obama predictably got 78% of the Jewish vote. The article says, certainly Obama is comfortable with Jews, especially Jews from Chicago. Axelrod remains at his side as senior advisor and will do so in the White House. And Congressman Rahm Emanuel will be White House chief of staff. And the article goes on to talk about other Jewish friends and supporters of Obama from Chicago, including billionaire Penny Pritzker, who has known Obama also since he got out of Harvard as a young man, and became his campaign finance chairwoman, and raised tens of millions of dollars for him. There was also George Soros, the Hungarian Jew, who raised tens of millions of dollars for Obama. Now, according to the Chicago Tribune, Obama did what was necessary to please the Jews. This last March, he made the pilgrimage to AIPAC, the powerful pro-Israel lobbying organization. There, he pledged unwavering commitment to Israel's security. In July, he traveled right at the height of the political campaign. He took time out of 175 nations in the world. He chose little tiny Israel, where he traveled and was photographed with Israel leaders, and he wore his Yarmulke skull cap, of course, and went to the Wailing Wall and put a little message in there.
Obamina posjeta Izraelu o kojoj je riječ, kao i detalji o njegovoj bliskosti sa najuticajnijim i najbogatijim američkim židovima, predstavljeni su u reklamnom videu Jewish Americans for Obama, američki židovi za Obamu, koji je prikazivan u predsjedničkoj kampanji 2008. godine.
Tell you what is the greatest wish for me as an Israeli, to see an American person running for presidency. The greatest wish is be a great president of the United States. That is the greatest promise for us.
It's a values bond and an ideals bond and an intellectual bond. When I think about the professors who helped nurture my academic career, my employers and my mentors, so many of them have been members of the Jewish community, and that's because the Jewish community's impact on American cultural life, on our idea of ourselves, is so integral.
A large number of very prominent Jewish Chicagoans have known and loved the Obamas for so many years, and within the Chicago Jewish community, Barack's relationships run deep and wide.
It's interesting, early on Barack Obama was accused of being too close to the Jewish community. There is such a fit of values. There's a phrase that my mother always used to use when I was growing up, a Yiddish meshuma, a Jewish soul. And I've on occasion accused Barack of having a Yiddish meshuma, that he's got a Jewish soul, that he reacts to things in many ways, in so many times in ways that Jews would identify with.
We served together on the Public Health Committee, and when it came to making a difference in keeping the doors open for Chicago's only Jewish hospital, Barack was on the front lines advocating on behalf of more resources to do just that. Time and again, when there have been difficult fights to fight that have involved the Jewish community, Barack has never flinched.
He's gotten some very hard-nosed business people in the Jewish community behind him. Lester Crown's a perfect example, and Jim Crown. The Crown family did not get where they are by being naive about either politics or about people.
The more you know about him and the more you know him, the more you like him. And the more you have confidence in him.
The people who have worked with him in Chicago, who are Jewish, know that this is as solid a candidate for the interests that Jews profess both domestically and abroad that we've had in a long, long time.
I will do everything in my power to prevent Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon. Everything in my power to prevent Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon. Everything.
Listen to what he says, right? He means what he says. He's been very consistent in what he said. So don't listen to others try to interpret always what he has said from their own perspective. Listen clearly to his words.
And I will always stand up for Israel's right to defend itself in the United Nations and around the world.
It's pretty obvious that there's some gigantic financial institutions that have been pulling the strings of politicians in this country for a long time. And there's the fact that we have it set up where they can donate millions of dollars to these guys' funds, these guys' campaigns. I mean, how do we not expect it all to go bad?
A kada se oni koji kontrolišu te milione i milijarde i koji vladaju iz sjenke sastanu i slože da je Bush mlađi postao previše neomiljen i omražen i da je time otežano sprovođenje njihovih planova, oni donose odluku da nezadovoljnim masama koje su počele da postavljaju opasna pitanja zatvore usta, oči i uši, poturajući im novo, neiskompromitovano lice koje obećava promjene. Ambiciozni plan je počeo da se sprovodi, a njegovi autori, cionisti, nisu sumnjali u njegov uspjeh.
I think he's going to be president of the United States someday. There's just not any doubt in my mind.
2-year plan to put him at the highest possible political peak going into the 2008 election cycle.
The plan called for Obama to avoid controversial issues and slowly raise his profile.
So this is the moment where this clique of bankers decides to bring in a new face. And this time, not a right-winger, not a neocon, but a left-wing demagogue who promises hope and change, but actually represents policies that are qualitatively worse, qualitatively more destructive, and he can deliver Europe as pawns, as puppets, as expendable assets, in order to let the US, British world domination go on for another 100 years. Now that's the project. So people in Europe had better wake up that silly romantic illusion they have about Obama is going to be suicidal for them if they don't understand this.
Even if Barack Obama were the most wonderful person in the world, he was groomed and brought to power by the global elite to carry out their agenda. Humanity must look past Obama and realize that presidents come and go, but the shadow government and their program of global enslavement continues. To alter our course from tyranny to liberty, to defeat the corrupt elite, we must get past the puppets and confront the real power structure of the planet.